Hey guys, Tom here, and today I am bringing you my WWE WrestleMania 32 review. If you guys could smash the likes, that'd be absolutely awesome. Also, comment below your thoughts on the pay-per-view. We're going to work our way through the pay-per-view. I'm going to talk about my thoughts and opinions on every single thing that happened. So, briefly talking about the pre-show, I thought the pre-show was pretty solid. I think the Kalisto and Ryback match was great. I think the Divas match was great as well. I thought the Usos and the Dudley Boys match was really bad and was probably the worst match of the whole night. But at the end of the day, they gave us 3 matches for free, and I thought 2 out of the 3 were pretty good. I think Kalisto winning is a bit of a disappointment. I think with Ryback turning heel recently, changing up his ring attire, I thought they would really go for it and give Ryback one last chance with a title belt. But now he's lost here, it just feels like it's game over for Ryback. I don't see any coming back from him. Also, talking about the Divas match, I think Lana, surprisingly, can actually wrestle, which is a big shocker. Also, Emma, she was absolutely great in this match, and I'm really happy for her. How the hell is she not on Monday Night Raw every single week is beyond me. She is evidently one of the best Divas on the roster. They just need to use her a little bit more. But at the end of the day, they gave us 2 matches which were great. The Dudley Boys match sucked. At the end of the day, the Usos, they never evolve, they never change. Oh, the only thing they do now is hit super kicks and say, ooh, so you're not going to get over doing that. They've been the same thing for 3 years. I'm not surprised they got booed. It's boring, it's stale, it's not unique. Everybody wanted to see the Dudley Boys put the Usos through the tables. We didn't get that. We got the Usos trying to get a pop by doing it themselves. It didn't work. Everybody's bored of the Usos at this point. What do you guys think? They need to change it up. They've been the same thing for the last 3 years, and they expect to get over doing the same things over and over again. Anyway, now moving on to the main card, which I thought was pretty bloody good. So we started off with an absolutely fantastic match, a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. So we had Zack Ryder winning the bloody Intercontinental Championship. I mean, that is a WrestleMania moment. He's never had his music played at WrestleMania. And then he goes and bloody wins the Intercontinental Championship. Absolutely amazing. This match was absolutely awesome as well. I think Sami Zayn looked absolutely brilliant in this match. I'm really looking forward to him in the WWE. I think I sort of agree not putting the belt on Sami Zayn straight away. I think they're going to have to slowly build up this guy, not put the belt on him straight away. Maybe giving him a SummerSlam makes a little bit more sense. I'm kind of surprised they did put it on Zack Ryder. I mean, has Vince finally realised the talent in Zack Ryder? It's only taken him 3 years to realise this, that Zack Ryder is the real deal. Now, I'm pretty shocked that they took the belt off Kevin Owens. I think he's been doing a pretty good job. So to put it on Zack Ryder, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? I think the next few months will tell the tale on that one. Why did they take it off Kevin Owens? I'm not particularly sure. I think he's been doing a good job. Maybe they just wanted to give a cool WrestleMania moment over to Zack Ryder. But at the end of the day, it was a shocker. Everybody's been asking for unpredictability within the WWE. And that's exactly what we got for the first match on the full show. And to be honest, very exciting match. A great way to get the crowd warm. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was great. Zack Ryder winning, absolute shocker. We'll see how that one transforms. And at the end of the day, they also set up Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn for probably Extreme Rules, which will be great as well. So overall, pretty decent match. A ladder match, you can't go wrong. The next match we got was Chris Jericho against AJ Styles. I really wasn't looking forward to this match in my opinion, but at the end of the day, this match was one of the best matches on the card. This was a really good match between Jericho and AJ Styles. I'm absolutely stunned that Chris Jericho got the win here. I mean, AJ Styles, they paid a hell of a lot of money for this guy. He's fresh, he's hungry, he needed a big win at WrestleMania, his first WrestleMania. So for him to lose at his first WrestleMania, this guy could be the most over babyface in the WWE if they used him right. And he's lost at his first WrestleMania against the guy who's notorious for putting over people. This makes absolute no sense. It was a complete shocker. I mean, yes, it's unpredictable, but not really in a good way because nobody wanted to see this. Everybody wanted to see AJ Styles win in his first WrestleMania match, get a big pop, get a big win, and yeah, carry it on and make a really big career in the WWE. But Chris Jericho winning here, what is Chris Jericho going to do with a win? I mean, I didn't like this at all. I thought the match was absolutely fantastic, but I've just got a huge stale taste in my mouth knowing that Chris Jericho won the match, which makes absolutely no sense. It just feels to me, from what I took from this, it feels like Vince McMahon is saying, a big fuck you to TNA, like he did with Sting last year against Triple H with the WCW and WWE. It just kind of feels like Vince McMahon saying, yeah, WWE was always better than TNA. Maybe I'm looking a little bit too much into it, but at the end of the day, you can't really put something past that like Vince McMahon, who's done stuff like this in the past. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. That's the only real reason why I think they probably would have done this. Yeah, this was absolutely stupid. Great match, but the result just makes absolutely no sense. The next match we got was the League of Nations taking on the New Day. So the League of Nations got the win in a match which I thought was pretty boring. It was pretty disappointing. And why wasn't the tag team titles on the line? This is WrestleMania. This is the biggest show of the year, and the tag team titles are not on the line. And at the end of the day, we've seen the League of Nations against the New Day many, many times before. So what was different here? The answer is nothing, because it was kind of the same old crap. There wasn't anything new here. It really didn't feel like a WrestleMania match. And yeah, nothing really happened. I mean, the League of Nations won, but what does that really do? Because it wasn't for the titles. So yeah, absolutely nothing. This felt like a little bit of a waste of time. And it changes absolutely nothing. Why it wasn't for the titles, I have no idea. The League of Nations kind of deserved a title match, so why it wasn't on the line makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to be honest though, the entrance for the New Day was pretty freaking awesome, coming out of a Bootio cereal box. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. That is a WrestleMania entrance. That was absolutely cool, but at the end of the day, why wasn't this for the titles? It bloody should have been, because I think the New Day, they've had the titles for a long time. I think if the League of Nations took the titles here, it would really mix things up and make things exciting in the tag team division again. But not putting the titles on the line, that's not what you should be seeing at WrestleMania. Why shouldn't the titles be on the line at WrestleMania, your biggest show of the year? I don't know what. But anyway, this thankfully set up an amazing segment after the match where we got Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley coming out after the match. This was freaking insane. This was one of many great segments on WrestleMania. This was absolutely awesome, ending with Steve Austin hitting a stunner on Xavier Woods after he tried to make him dance. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. I suppose that made up for the fact that the League of Nations and New Day match was kind of a bit crappy. Honestly, it didn't really feel much better than a Monday Night Raw match, but the segment after made up for that. I thought this was freaking insane. The pop for Steve Austin was absolutely awesome, and that's what you get at WrestleMania. Moments like that, memories which will last a lifetime, but the match beforehand will not last a lifetime, because it wasn't for the bloody titles, and it wasn't very good. So the next match we got was Brock Lesnar defeating Dean Ambrose, which was probably the number one match which absolutely pissed me off. I mean, Dean Ambrose is a lunatic fringe, and if he can't win a no-holds-barred street fight, then you can't really call him the lunatic fringe. I mean, he's been given all these weapons, and he didn't even use them. He didn't use the chainsaw. He didn't use the baseball bat with the barbed wire around it. Why did we sit through all those segments on Monday Night Raw if he wasn't actually going to use them at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? And it was a street fight, but they hardly left the ring. It was just such an anticlimax, this match. It lasted about 10 minutes. It could have gone on for half an hour. Everybody would have loved that. He didn't use any of the weapons he was given. It wasn't really a street fight because it never really left the ring. Brock Lesnar wins with one F5. Even though Dean Ambrose is dubbed as a lunatic fringe, he got beat with one F5 in the middle of the ring. Dean Ambrose hardly really gave up a fight. I really thought Dean Ambrose could do with a win here. One win over Brock Lesnar here, and Dean Ambrose could shoot to the top and be your top babyface. But a loss against Brock Lesnar, it could be a very, very fast decline, I believe, for Dean Ambrose. I mean, what does a win for Brock Lesnar really do? Absolutely nothing. What would a win for Dean Ambrose here do? Absolutely everything. They needed to pull the trigger on this guy at WrestleMania, and they bloody didn't. I mean, he was in a no-holds-barred street fight. He's dubbed the lunatic fringe. You would have thought this would have been the perfect match for Dean Ambrose to go over, but they failed for absolutely no reason. What is Brock Lesnar going to do with a win over Dean Ambrose? It means absolutely nothing to him. He beats literally anybody. I wanted to see Dean Ambrose shock the world here and beat Brock Lesnar. That would have been a WrestleMania moment for me, but it never happened. One F5 and the whole match was over. Huge anticlimax. I think everybody would agree with that one. Then the next match we got was, you know what, I'm going to say this one was the best match of the night. This was the WrestleMania women's match. This was absolutely freaking insane. So, Lita announced that we will now get a women's championship instead of the Divas championship. Honestly, what are my thoughts on the actual title belt? I think it looks a bit lazy. You would have thought they would have made a new design. Instead, it kind of looks like somebody went on the video game and went on the championship creation suite and literally just changed the colour from black to red. You would have thought they would have got a unique design for the women's championship. But at the end of the day, I'm not really going to dwell on that one too much because this was the best match of the night. I'm going to ignore the result because I really wanted Sasha Banks to win. I think everybody in the crowd wanted Sasha Banks to win. I think a hell of a lot of people are shocked why Charlotte walked away with the title here. You would have thought the number one WrestleMania moment this year would have been Sasha Banks walking away with the title, but once again they kind of failed to pull the trigger on this one as well as they did with Dean Ambrose. I mean, you would have thought Sasha Banks walking away with the title would have been one of the number one WrestleMania moments. I mean, there's 100,000 people in that arena. I bet there was about 1 or 2 people that wanted Charlotte to walk away with that belt, but it doesn't really take anything away from the match because this match was freaking insane. This was bloody brilliant. This was one of the best women's matches we will see ever. This was definitely the best match on the WrestleMania card this year, without a doubt. This one was absolutely insane. 3 girls proving that the Divas Revolution is well and truly alive, and it's going to carry on for years and years. This is amazing. I want to see this match again tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. I cannot express how good this match was. The pacing was absolutely brilliant. 3 girls trying to prove who is the best women's wrestler on the roster. It was absolutely insane. I think Sasha Banks was a little bit botchy in the ring. I think she made about 2 or 3 mistakes. I know she definitely botched the sunset flip, and when she did a flip outside the ring, which kind of went a bit wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to take anything away from it because this match was absolutely awesome. They did everything which we hoped for. And at the end of the day, Charlotte walking away with it kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But great match, and I'm glad I saw it. Then moving on, we got the Hell in a Cell match. I still can't believe this match happened. I mean, this was literally a once-in-a-lifetime match. Shane McMahon returning in February, then to face The Undertaker 2 months later in a Hell in a Cell match for control of Monday Night Raw. I think this one is the most disappointing result on the pay-per-view, because imagine the Monday Night Raw after, tomorrow, knowing that Shane McMahon could have been in control of Monday Night Raw. How epic would that Monday Night Raw have been? It would have been so unpredictable. Nobody would have known what was going to happen. Everything would be up in the air. But now it just feels like we're back to square one. I mean, the Authority have been running things for 2.5 years now, and they're still there. And bringing Shane McMahon back kind of now feels like a bit of a waste of time and a little bit pointless, because we all got so invested in this match and everybody was like, holy shit, we're going to get Raw versus SmackDown, it's going to be insane. Finally the Authority are out. No more boring Raws, no more boring promos on Monday Night Raw. But at the end of the day, Undertaker won. So they kind of messed up that WrestleMania moment as well. I mean, the WrestleMania moment for me this year would have been Shane McMahon winning and dethroning the Authority, but they messed that up as well. I mean, it seemed like an obvious choice, but somehow they managed to screw that one up as well. I mean, couldn't they have had Shane McMahon win and then he just reinstated Undertaker's WrestleMania career? I mean, everybody wanted to see Shane McMahon dethrone the Authority. I mean, there's a reason behind the low ratings. There's a reason why people are losing interest in the product, because the Authority have been running things for 2.5 years now. It's got predictable, it's got boring, it's got stale, and nothing has changed for a very, very long time. So why Shane McMahon did not win here is absolutely beyond me, and kind of feels like Shane McMahon's return was a little bit pointless, a little bit of a waste of time. But to be honest, the match, very, very slow, but I think everybody got their hopes up and thought it was going to be like match of the year. This was nowhere near match of the year. It was way too slow, but there was some awesome spots in this match. The coast to coast, the announcer's table spot where Undertaker threw himself and Shane through the announcer's table, and of course the one where Shane McMahon jumped off the Hell in a Cell. I mean, did you think you were going to see something like that in the PG era? Not really. This was awesome. This is the only thing This is one of the only things you'd get at WrestleMania which you wouldn't get the rest of the year. This was absolutely awesome, but it all feels like a bit of a waste of time. It really does. It just feels like a little bit of a waste of time, and I'm really disappointed that Undertaker won and the Authority are still there, which is a big disappointment. Anyway, moving on, Baron Corbin winning the 3rd annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Talking about the Memorial Battle Royal, pretty boring. I mean, I don't understand why they have this a yearly thing, because Battle Royals are probably the most boring matches out of any match type in the WWE, but for some reason they like to do it every single year at WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, and it's just a bunch of jobbers. Everybody in this match was a jobber, apart from Shaquille O'Neal, because he's not even in the WWE. But anyway, Baron Corbin winning the 3rd annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Great for him, great way to start his career, but do they really take this Battle Royal seriously? I mean, Cesaro won it 2 years ago and did absolutely nothing with it. Big Show won it last year, and I completely forgot 24 hours later that he was even in that Battle Royal. So I don't know what it's going to really do for Baron Corbin's career, and if it's really going to do anything for him, but it's a step in the right direction and could bring great things to him. But we'll have to see how it works. But at the end of the day, this was full of jobbers. Very boring match. It's cool that Baron Corbin won, but it was a bit of a struggle to get there, and it was given way too much time. So, the next thing we got was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announcing that they had, in fact, they had beaten the attendance record of over 100,000 fans. That is ridiculous. That is insane. That is amazing. I mean, yeah, WrestleMania is fucking insane. Sometimes it's really embarrassing to admit you're a wrestling fan, but when there's 100,000 people in a bloody stadium for WrestleMania, it does make you really proud of the sport and just make you feel that you're part of something, and you're part of something big, and there's only one man really to announce that, and that was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and WrestleMania isn't WrestleMania without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. His entrance was awesome with the flamethrower and lighting Rock. That was cool. That was freaking insane, and we then surprisingly got Bray Wyatt come out, which I thought was a little bit out of place, and I think the promo between the two kind of dragged on a little bit, but I thought it was kind of awesome because it led to John Cena coming back. Now, this guy literally is superhuman. I mean, how the hell is he back already? I mean, I'm pretty sure the injury put him out for about 8 months, and he's back within 4. I mean, it's fucking insane how this guy does it. And you know that he would have pushed himself to get on this WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is not WrestleMania without The Rock, but WrestleMania is not WrestleMania without John Cena, I don't think, anymore. I think he really is that key to WrestleMania, and I was really happy to see John Cena back. It feels like WWE's back home when you see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and John Cena on your TV screens. And I might get a lot of hate for saying that, but you've got to admit WrestleMania is better when John Cena is on it, and it's a bit of a shame he wasn't in a match this year, but it's great to see him back, and hopefully he's on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. But I thought it was a really cool way to bring him back, a little segment with his old rival, The Rock, really. And at the end of the day, John Cena's back, and this is bloody insane. And I think, the match between Eric Rowan and The Rock kind of felt a bit strange and kind of like he was burying Eric Rowan. But I think WrestleMania is the only show of the year where you can really get away with something like that. And at the end of the day, it brought John Cena back, and it's all fine and dandy. And this led to the main event, which was... I'd said that Usos and the Dudley Boys was the worst match of the night, but this just felt so lifeless. It was like as if they'd kind of decided that they weren't really going to go for it. They knew that people didn't want to see this match, so why bother, hey? If I was in the main event of WrestleMania, I'd want to put on the best fucking match of my career. It didn't feel like that's what they were feeling. It felt so lifeless. Roman Reigns and Triple H will probably go down as the worst main event of a WrestleMania ever. It was so poor, like so lifeless, no pace about it. It was just so dull, and this was already on a 5-hour show, and the climax of it was this. It was dreadful. It was so bad. I mean, oh my god, Triple H has had so many epic matches in the past against Undertaker, Foley, Randy Orton, and then he puts on a match like this in the main event of WrestleMania. It was dreadful. my God, I can't believe it. I mean, I feel really sorry for people that paid all that money to go out to WrestleMania to see this. It just felt like they didn't care. And the sad thing is, I think they sort of knew it was going to get this reaction. They must have known. I mean, it's been in the works for months and months now. He got booed out of the building last year at WrestleMania, so why the hell is he in the main event of WrestleMania this year? It makes absolutely no sense. There's only Vince McMahon, which is stubborn enough to do it for a second year in a row when it didn't work the year before. And this main event was atrocious. At least last year's main event was pretty decent. This was so bad, so slow, and so shitty. The only good thing about this match was Stephanie McMahon. She looked hot as hell. The rest of it was just so bad. They edited Roman Reigns' crowd noise when he was coming out. They completely turned off all the mics for the crowd, which was ridiculously obvious. And that's something wrong. There's something wrong when you have to edit the babyface in the main event's crowd reaction. And they knew. They knew this was going to happen, but the problem is they'd already committed 4 months ago to this match, and with all the injuries out, they had to go with it. And I think the most frustrating thing about it is that at the end of the night, they still put the title on Roman Reigns. I mean, I think they'd already committed to it. This is what they had to do, but could they not just keep the belt on Triple H for maybe like 1 more month? Because he was getting cheered a hell of a lot more than Roman Reigns, and I know they committed to it a long time ago, but how the hell is this guy in the main event of WrestleMania for the second year in a row when it failed last year and it was just bound to fail this year? I mean, it was atrocious. This was embarrassing. This was so bad. And at the end of the day, the match sucked. Roman Reigns is champion, which sucks. Undertaker defeated Shane, so the Authority is still in. Charlotte is still champion, even though the Divas division much needed a change. She's been champion for a hell of a long time. Ryback's gimmick is, well, Ryback's career seems like it's completely over now because they didn't even go for the belt on him. I mean, God. I mean, Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, it's just going to feel like exactly the same as it did last week. I mean, nothing's hardly changed. We all knew Roman was going to win the belt. The Authority is still in. And yeah. I mean, we got some nice moments. We got The Rock, we got John Cena, we got Austin, Foley, Shawn Michaels. I mean, Shane McMahon against Taker was an absolute spot fest, but will be a great memory. The Women's Championship, it's great that they're now going to be called Women. But at the end of the day, did a lot change? Not really. The New Day's match wasn't for the titles. Jericho beating AJ Styles? What the fuck is that? I mean, is Zack Ryder with the Intercontinental Championship, does that make a lot of sense? Is that going to work? I really hope it does, but I don't know. I think this WrestleMania was pretty disappointing, guys. What do you think? I think there's going to be a lot of mixed opinions about this, but Roman Reigns leaving with the title, we all knew it was going to happen. Very, very predictable, but did we want it to happen? Did we want it to happen? Hell no, did we want it to happen. But they still went with it, which is so frustrating as a fan. And it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania is where they give the fans what they want. And Roman Reigns winning the title is not what the fans want. Shane McMahon losing is not what the fans want. Charlotte winning the Divas title is not what the fans want. The Rock coming back is cool. John Cena coming back is cool. But some of the booking on this show is completely fucked. Why is AJ Styles not going over? I'm going to give this pay-per-view a 6 out of 10. I mean, 5 hours on top of a 2-hour pre-show. Crazy, ridiculous. What did you guys think? Comment your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Spike your hair.